Hey there. Ha ha. Happy Tuesday. What a beautiful day to be alive. The mystery of life never stops. It's an ongoing process, don't you know? Hi, Michelle. And so, welcome to the ORIN Oracles Live. Hey, Marcella. Hey, Denise, Cornell. I love you guys. And so, hey, Jean, welcome. I'm full of it this morning, so be prepared. And I have Andrew, he's with me. He's already coming in. And so, yeah, toss that cat. Now, I'm going to tell you a quick story. The cats have been getting a little too much. And I'll reserve that story. But the cats are too much. And I'm breathing now. It's been a fast and furious morning. I have been in the process of the process, no doubt. This one, I think, is in heat. So, welcome to the ORIN Oracles Live. I have my very special guest, Andrew Visker, and he's already online. We did a pre-test earlier just to make sure this all works. Now, I trust Andrew's as fired up as I am. I know we're going to cover a lot of ground today. Trust me on that. We've had a lot of conversations about a lot of things, and I think we're both prepared for what is about to proceed.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, what do you think, Andrew?
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, man, welcome, man. How's your life today?
Oh, it's peachy.
Peachy.
Just peachy. A little yellowy.
Are you in
A little
Georgia?
distilled watery.
Oh, Lord, man, help me, please. Yeah, this is where I want to go to at this moment, and we're going to cover a lot of ground. I guarantee you we're going to cover a lot of ground today. Andrew and I have had a lot of conversation, and I love this brother. He's got a lot to bring to the table. If you don't know who Andrew is, he is the admin for one of the UT groups, Distilled Water. And go ahead and tell us about some of that, Andrew, because there's a lot of contemporary history as well as other history involved in that. How did that all begin? Go ahead and tell us.
Oh, the distilled healing waters. Well, I came about it. I guess I met Monica Shute first on YouTube, and then she told me about Andrew Norton Weber and the Distilled Waters group. So then I joined it and learned all I could. And I started off, I did I'm like a omnivorous meat eater, so I was probably pretty acidic. So I started out with a vegan diet for like 2 weeks and fruit, and of course fruit. And then I went fruitarian for like a week, and then I did my first urine therapy fats, which was amazing. And
how long ago was that?
And that was like a year and a half, pushing 2 years ago. So then I came from the perspective of preventative maintenance. So what I did was I tried it out and it was awesome. And I stuck fruitarian maybe a month or so after, then went vegetarian. And I just started eating everything again. So whenever you stop doing the process, of course, you're going to reap the rewards of going back to eating, like if you're a meat eater or whatever, So if you eat a bad diet, you're going to reap that reward. So then you just got to clean out, right? So I just figured preventative maintenance here and there. would keep me on board. But as I come now, it's more like you need to be on it full time. You know what I mean? That's the
Yes.
goal. And now I view things from a view of trying to be 80% alkaline diet, which is all the fruits and vegetables, citrus, all those good things, and then just keep the bad stuff, what we would consider the good happy foods, keep that down to 20% or less. And if you can eliminate, all the bad things out of your life, then that's great. But the distilled waters group, whenever I guess you could say during the process, they decided to shut down. When Donnie Daigle shut the group down, I created a group because no one else did. No other admins or whatever said, hey, I got a group for us all to go to because this one's getting shut down. It's kind of like no one knew what was going on. So I made the group just for having the community to keep it going. And then I made a couple people admins with me, and some came and left. Kevin Smith, he invited me to the original Distilled Waters admin group, and that's where he let me have the Distilled Waters file, which I guess that's in the Distilled Waters group now. So if you wanted all that information,
That
just
goes
join
back
those.
to Andrew
Yeah.
Norton Weber, right?
Right,
And Donnie.
right.
I mean, those were original files from the group.
Right. They have a backup file that had most of the links and things, which a lot of links to Andrew Norton Weber's Facebook pages where he made all these nice informative like little news article kind of posts. I think they're mostly deleted now. I checked a few and they seem like they're all broken links, so he might have just totally deactivated from social media. I don't know if he still has a secret group or what's going on. I'm not savvy to that. If someone else is, then they're just they're back in their own little thing doing their thing.
The
So that's up
Secret
to them.
Society
Yeah.
of Pea Drinkers. How it sounds so like a cult.
Yeah. Well, it can be. I guess other people have seen that and they've stated
Yeah,
thusly what they thought. So
yeah.
it's just part of
So where?
life and part of the process, I guess. Like I whenever I went from just saying, hey, I think inorganic minerals are good for us, that the body, there's plenty of proof the body uses them. Read up on your chemistry and different things to get a full picture of it. People have good benefits with salt. I'm not saying salt doesn't cure cancer. We all know table salt's bad to stay away from, but unrefined all natural salt is what we talk about when we say salt. Like Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, the good salts.
Well,
So
actually, this very morning, Monica posted in one of the groups, giving testimonial about her fasting, about the reintroduction, because her and I are, we talk, and there is process. There's a lot of process involved, and sugar and salt are definitely the two main, I think, gateway drugs into abuse. I really do. Sugar and salt, I think, are absolutely unconditionally the main gate to the forbidden land. And she said that in her process of the fast, and she wanted to test it all. And so in that testing, she said that after several weeks of the fast, and then slowly introducing, that she just wanted to test. And so she did the salt, and she realized that all of a sudden she was having headaches. She was having these different variable physical occurrences that were graphic for her. Now, there is an ongoing debate about the salt, absolutely unconditionally.
oh
And
yeah.
people came right in on that post, and, everybody defends their positions, one way or the other in
Yeah.
their own research and whatnot. And I am a proponent for people to experience their truth absolutely unconditionally. I mean, everybody has their own body.
Yes.
And if they
Yep.
aren't testing their own experience and relying on everybody else to give them the truth, then they're never going to know the truth, about what's going on with them, what's so about for them.
Right.
And that's all I ever propose. Hey, do your own homework, you know, experience it. Let's hear your testimony. What's your cause and effect? What do you think about that?
Oh, well, I think that if you get rid of salt from your diet and you're getting all your electrolytes through fruit, when you reintroduce it, of course you could have problems. Your body has to adjust. Um, People that have never stopped eating any kind of salt, maybe they're not going to have any adverse reactions. Some people are more sensitive than others. I'm not a chemical sensitive, so I can't relate to, like, say, smelling someone's perfume or cologne and then just totally having adverse reactions. I pretty much tolerate all things pretty well. So maybe I just don't have that sensitivity that, say, Monica would with her body. And I'm a big proponent
Right.
of muscle testing, where you test your own body, you ask your body what it needs and what it's happy with. Because everyone, everyone's different. DNA is slightly different. Everyone's thumbprints are different. And so, I mean, what works for one may not work for the other, depending on your background, what you ate, your DNA, the toxins that you come in contact with throughout your life, the protocols that you've done throughout your life. Your pH in your body might be different than, say, a meat eater's if you're vegan
Yes.
or if you're vegetarian. Uh,
Yes.
and I was reading with say, was it Your Own Perfect Medicine? Uh, Martha Christie, she recommends that, if you're a meat eater, you got to solve your acid problem before you launch into hardcore urine fasting, right? So
Yes.
I'm all about checking your pH, getting those vegetables, getting those fruits going, getting healthy, and then going into it. If you're going to go hardcore, but then we see, like, uh, in the Water of Life, we see John Armstrong saying, "Hey, if you're on your deathbed, go for it, full on urine therapy." With all the
Yeah.
massages and everything.
Don't hold back.
And I've done both, and
What do
I've
you
had
got to
great
lose but your
experiences.
life?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, my second UT fast, I did 6 days just like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, and I didn't do any vegetable or fruit preloading. I came right in it from a meat eating kind of standpoint, where fruits and vegetables were on a minimum at that time for the last month or two. And I didn't preload. I didn't pre-fast like everyone suggests. Oh, you want to go fruits and vegetables before you start your fasting. And so I just launched into it. And it's like the old joke. What did the fish say when you ran into a wall? He said, "Damn." So I hit the dam about 6 days in. Everything was acetone and had a lot of ketones, and is more acidic. And I felt it could have been, and then of course you get the heart palpitations and everything with that. So whether it's sodium, potassium, magnesium, whether it's those things are out of whack or whether it's this acidosis, it's good to be aware of what's going on. And then, of course, when you run into that wall, when you hit the dam, uh, take a step back and fix everything. If you're not on your deathbed, if you got time to juice, get some green juicing going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Well,
you can go get
and
your fruits and load
Monica
up
made
on good things,
a
yeah.
good suggestion, and and in that suggestion there was rebuttals. I mean, interesting how it works. And she was illustrating that she took celery and did a drying of the celery and then a grind and using natural celery salt, and that seemed to be a resolve in her taste and desire for a salt fix. And
Hmm.
then there was a rebuttal. I mean, it's an interesting um, format because there seems to be a continuous confrontation about this one subject. Salt just
Oh yeah,
seems to bring
definitely.
up the best and worst of everybody. I don't
Right,
know.
right.
You know, I'm no scientist, man. I just live in my life, one day at a time and trust my experience. And I minimalize salt. I do. I minimize, with sugar,
Yeah,
salt.
so I do too.
I
Yeah.
minimalize completely. But I trust my experience. I just
Hmm.
trust my body. I do. I
That's all we got to
listen.
do. We have to trust our bodies. Yeah,
And I'm a
that's awesome. You
resilient
got to listen.
motherfucker. I am. I don't know why I have the constitution I do. I don't know why. Because I have suffered disease and chronic shit forever. My whole life. Since I was a
Oh wow.
child, I've had these problems.
Hmm.
And P has resolved them all. And I don't even blink anymore. I just drink my pee and it
Hmm.
works. I
Yeah,
don't know what else to say about it, and
it
people ask
works.
me, they come and PM me and it's like, I'm just getting started. Good for you. Good job. What do you recommend? I said, drink your fucking pee, man. Drink it. It works. What
Exactly.
else can I tell you?
Right.
I don't
Right.
know what to
Exactly.
tell you, man.
Well, yeah, like on the days I don't feel like just drinking, I always do like a mouthful just to get the anagen effect and to get the basic, gargle. If I'm stopped up, I do neti pots. And since my 6-day fast, I haven't had any nasal issues. Both nostrils clear, very minimal on having to do that even. So right now I'm focusing on fruits and I'm doing a little juicing. So I want to do a juicing fast maybe when I get back from going down to Alabama, which I'm going to do next week. So we're going to go visit our folks down there for spring break. Then whenever I
Right on.
return, hopefully I'll get to
Yeah,
launch
nice.
into a good juice fast. Do some reboot
Yeah,
with Joe.
yeah.
Fat, Sick, Nearly
How
Dead. I
peasy.
recommend everyone watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I get on the phone and I'll be out. I'll be walking. I'll be playing golf. I mean, I was on a phone call yesterday, I think it was, and I played almost 15 holes of golf while I was in a phone conversation. And I just have my headphones on and I just keep proceeding. And my friend asked me, like, do you have a cold or something? And I said, you keep sniffing. And I said, well, it's cold where I am. And, my nose drips,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
I can
definitely.
be like rude for a minute and blow snot out or whatever, but, I don't trip on it. I'm not sick. I don't have a cold. I'm in the
Exactly.
cold. And it's just environmental. It's not a physical issue. I don't see it as an issue at all. I just,
Right. To some cold, damp environment that you're in.
yeah.
Your
And I
body's going to
am. I
have
live
its
in a
reaction.
trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you
Exactly.
want from me? I don't live in a spa, although I create one.
Oh yeah, awesome.
I like to wear my boots with pee, my
Hmm.
pissing boot. That feels good.
Piss and boots.
Yeah, piss and boots. I have that laugh with Rosalind. She's the one who introduced the piss and boot idea to me, and I love the piss and boot. And then my friend Linda Maris introduced the idea of doing it with the gloves too, which I also do with the cotton gloves and the
Mm,
rubber, big rubber gloves,
awesome.
4P in there. Man, it works, man. Talk
Oh
about
yeah.
perfect therapy.
Whenever I was training with my herbal instructor from Hawaii, he said what you want to do if you're going to practice herbalism and soaking people in different herbs is make a glass cast of all different sizes to fit all people for your hands and arms and legs up to the knee. So that was a thing that he recommended if I was going to do that full time because I think he made some back in the day. So it's a smart idea,
Yeah.
soaking that little bit amount in the glove that keeps it right on the body.
Yeah.
What I was thinking for that kind of an idea is do a mummy wrap. Like wrap yourself up like a mummy with some good wool or some good linen. Cut you a little
Yeah.
4-inch
Yeah.
bandage, soak it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that holds that moisture in there, just wrap it up. It'll give you a full body soak without having to fill up a whole bathtub. But I like your idea about the whole bathtub.
Yeah, well,
Doing
that's
a soak.
Rosalind.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the one who introduced that again. And she is to our most recent conversation has not drained that tub, and that tub is going
Oh,
on
right on.
like a couple of months. I mean, that tub is dedicated
Well, that's
to,
awesome.
pure aged urine, pure. There's
Hmm.
no any other anything in there. It's just pure aged urine. And she'll do,
Yeah.
at least one, two, three, she'll do soaks every day. And I'm like, girlfriend, wow.
Envious. We are yellow with envy here instead of green with envy.
I'm
We are
yellow
yellow with
with envy. I
envy.
love that.
Yes. But I would like to do that if I can ever get around to doing it at some point in my life. Experience that soaking and get a little snorkel and go underwater and just uh,
Yeah, yeah,
just meditate. Lose yourself for an hour or two.
yeah. In a
Go back
pea
to the
dream,
womb.
man, with a snorkel. I like that. Now I'm going to keep that one in mind too.
Oh yeah, yeah. A green ring around the tub.
Yeah, green ring around the tub. There's Roz. Hi, beautiful.
Nice.
Yes, indeed. And even my dear friend Gerald, he posted up a picture, of dream making, and it's a beautiful clawfoot tub. And he posted it up, and he says, "Imagine this, and create it, and have it delivered. This beautiful
Hmm.
clawfoot tub." And I go, "Thank you for the vision, man. I'm down."
Right, right. I chatted with Gerald chatted me this morning. He posted a thing, then it was like, unavailable in my group, and he's like in Facebook prison. Said some trolls
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something
I had
maybe
a
flagged him,
conversation with him too just
and he
before
said
the
it. He said it doesn't even bother him. I was like, that keep on keeping on, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
enjoy his posts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I had a great conversation with him just prior. Yeah, I love the brother. I do. He's on a
Oh yeah.
roll. He's
Yeah.
doing what we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing, whatever that is. Whatever the fuck we're doing it. And I just make
Yeah.
it up as I go along. I'll tell you a
Yeah.
story real quick. Okay, now these cats have been getting on my nerves. I'll make no bones about that. These cats have just been getting way too much, way too much. And I think they're in heat. And so, they keep, they're like posturing themselves, stick it to me, kind of thing. And they're just like loud and obnoxious and they just won't get out of my
Hmm.
face. This morning, I've thought about this for a while, okay? This is all in the moment. I'm telling you the truth here. I I surrendered. I was ready to take them to the animal shelter. Period. I was just done.
Hmm.
I just like this is just too fucking much. These cats are driving me crazy. I
Wow.
loaded
Yeah.
them in the car. I loaded them in the car. I drove to the shelter. Nobody was there.
Oh wow.
Okay, now, so they got a free token for the moment. But I'll tell you what, that car ride and bringing them back home, I opened the
Hmm.
door of the car, let them out, calmed the shit down. They were like, "Oh shit, man, what's he doing?"
Somehow they got the
Oh
message, huh?
no! Oh no!
Sometimes
So
yeah. Sometimes you got to take them on that trip, man.
yeah, yeah, take
And
them to the other
like other
side.
Yeah, like
Take them
other
on
things
that
in your
ride. I
life.
don't know. My morning's been about going to the other side. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's just
When
like,
when my cats get on my nerves, I just like hit the block feature on Facebook.
yeah,
Block
yeah.
them out.
And I did. I actually I had them in the car, and I went to one of my favorite stores, and Leroy's Discount, and I love this woman. She does a great job. And I said,
Uh-huh.
Leroy, know anybody who wants a couple of cats? And she says, oh no, what? Because she knew about the cats because I buy cat food and whatnot from her. And I said,
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's just, it's getting too much for me. They're tripping. They're in heat, and I got cats in the yard, and it's like I live in a trailer, man. Like what I need is a couple pregnant cats and a fucking house full of kitties. I mean, I don't think so. And so she made a recommendation to me, and she said, you should go on Facebook and look for, like the Facebook groups. I thought, good idea. So I did. And so there's a
Oh yeah.
Missouri Animal Rescue, whatnot. I mean, I'm not an inhumane guy. I'm not going to take them down the road and throw them out of the fucking car. I'm not going to do that. I'm a humane person. They're good cats and all that, but it's too much for me. I
Yeah.
got I got way too much on my plate to have these cats tripping on me the way they are. They're tripping. And I got cats
hmm
howling in the yard. They kept me up all night. They kept me up all night. And a cat's outside my door going, where are they, man? I want to get laid, man. I know they're in heat.
Right. They could be obnoxious. They
Oh,
could be
good
very
Lord,
annoying.
man.
I've heard cats in the alley, especially if they're Siamese. Oh, they're loud, vocal.
Oh God, I mean it's really something, and it's funny because I'm a dog person, always been a dog person, and you can train
hmm
dogs. They're very they're loyal and Pavlovian. Cats, they train human. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
train
hard to train a
cats,
cat.
they train you. Oh God.
All you can do is let them know who the dominant one is if they're trying to be dominant over you.
Yeah.
And you never know.
Yeah.
You might just take them outside and get a little jug of urine and give them an aged urine bath. That might settle down their nerves.
Yeah, well, I've done the spray bottle with the aged urine.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. They're
Uh,
getting a healthy
yeah,
dose of behavior modification.
yeah, I have a lot of temperance. I have a lot of patience, and I have a lot of empathy, and I have a lot of love. I mean, I live in this. It's how I live.
hmm
But I do have my boundaries, and I accept that.
Right.
I just, I have to do what I have to do one moment at a time. And again, let's go back to the conversation of urine therapy. This
hmm
is something that everybody has to experience for themselves. Ask
Oh,
all the questions you
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
do all the research you can. But until you
hmm
start drinking your pee, you're not going to know shit. You're just going to be batting at the breeze. You're going to overanalyze everything until you understand what works for you. And
Right,
if you're
right.
not willing to just drink your pee and do the process, and I did every process I can think of. The drinking through the nose, the washing. I haven't had water on my skin since January 3rd. The last time I
hmm
ever had a shower or a bath or anything. Just my pee. That's
That's
all I've
awesome.
had on my body. Yeah, in my body, on my body. You know what? It worked for me. It does.
Right.
Totally works for me. May not work for
Yeah.
everybody. I don't know. Tell me your story. you know?
I think, yeah. I mean, I'm happy with it, and I haven't given it up. I mean, even though I hit
Yeah.
the wall with maybe some acidosis problems of my own, but I'm resolving all that, and I'll hit it again. I want to do a 30-dayer. I want to go, you know, I want to eventually in the future get myself ready to do, 60 days, 90 days. maybe as long as possible kind of deal, and then with
Yeah.
minimal fruit intake. But it doesn't mean I'm going to like totally just discount everything else in my life too. That's just something I want to do. It's just like going breatharian or something like that. I mean, it's like right now it may seem so impossible, but when you get yourself ready for it, you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. So I
Yes.
just
Um,
encourage people to go for it, but
well, and
do it wisely.
anybody who watches my early videos know I ran through several obsessions, and breatharianism, the pranachi, the fruitarianism, diatomeous earth, the turpentine therapy. I mean, I ran through the gamut. I was doing all of them, thinking, okay, I'm going to nirvana. I'm achieving perfection. What a fucking idiot.
Hmm.
I hit the wall. It was an obsessive compulsive behavior that I finally recognized, and I thank urine therapy for that. I finally recognized that I had an obsessive compulsive behavioral. I don't see it
Oh,
as a
right on.
disorder. I'm very articulate, I'm very, detail oriented and all that stuff, but I pushed my envelope to the wall. And I was slamming my head on the wall and recognizing that I was like, attempting to be Superman again. And that's what built up all of my body problems to begin with, thinking that I could just, supersede the moment. And, oh, man,
Woo!
everybody
We hit the
there?
wall.
Yeah, there's the cats. you know,
Good kitty.
hello.
Good kitty.
Oh God. So, the point I'm making is that I had to I had to hit the wall. I had to do it
Right.
in order to, wake myself up. And I've really gotten to a point where I'm more relaxed about everything. I just am. I am just doing the best I can, the best I know how, every moment I breathe. And I
Hmm.
deal with shit, man. However it comes to me, I'm not a porter. I'm not a red cap. Don't look for me to carry bags. If I got shit going on, I'm going to address it. That's just how I am, and I'm very
Hmm.
direct about it. And it makes
It's a good way to
me,
be.
yeah. Well, it's what am I going to do? Either I'm going to deal with it or I'm going to carry it. Choice is mine.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't leave bags on the porch and wait for somebody to open them and have them explode in their face. You know, I'll let them know
Yeah.
I'm delivering the package.
No spy versus spy action. Remember that little comic, The Spy versus Spy? The black
Yeah,
one's
yeah,
always trying to get the white one, or the white one's they're always trying to blow each other up or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what reminded me of that.
Excuse me a minute. I'm going to step away from the camera because I'm going to put this cat outside because
Sure,
I
sure.
have to. You keep talking. Tell your story.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's see. What else to say? Um, Concerning urine therapy, like doing urine compresses. I prefer like wool. I found wool whenever you do your compresses, or you're wanting to put uh, urine soak on any kind of wound or any kind of painful area. I use wool because natural animal fibers, they don't retain the odor when they dry. They don't get all stinky like say cotton does. So that's one thing
Oh,
I,
that's
I like
curious.
wool for. Yeah.
That's really curious. Now, I've always had an aversion to wool. Somehow my skin, it just itches.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Yeah, I do cotton better
It
than
might not.
wool.
Yeah, it might not itch anymore if you don't. If you're doing a basic urine therapy, you probably got all that allergy stuff taken care of. But if it does, I'd say use something else. Use
Well,
what
and this
works for
was
you,
a
of
long time
course.
ago. I mean, this is a long time ago, okay? I mean,
Hmm.
my experience over the last 14 months has been transformational and perfect healing. I make no other reference to anything but the P. The P has changed everything for me.
Right.
Everything. I can't explain anything else. I mean, how could I get pain free, med free, never sick, basically happy, more open hearted, more
Hmm.
open minded. My writing and shit is just flowing effortlessly. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing else I can attribute it to than drinking my pee. It's
Hmm.
been like
You're in the
the
flow.
miracle elixir, the golden elixir. It's just amazing to me. Amazing.
Hmm. Yeah. Whenever you started your urine therapy, were you vegetarian or vegan
I was
previous?
vegan. Yeah, I was vegan
Okay.
for about 2 years. I had quit at the point I started, which was 14 months ago.
Hmm.
I had I had gone completely vegan like 2 years. I'd quit drinking. I'd quit cigarettes,
Nice.
and I was doing pretty well, but I was still eating cooked food and buying, like
Hmm.
fake vegan meat and all that shit.
Yeah,
And
like the
when I
processed vegan
discovered,
foods.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like the,
Like,
chorizo and fake ground meat and, whatever, the fake cheese and all that shit, which
hmm.
is, when you put it into perspective, okay, it's vegan, yeah, it's vegan, but it's processed food.
Hmm.
When
Exactly.
you get down to it, it's still processed food. So, after watching 48-hour marathon on binge about urine therapy, when I realized it, discovered it, I just started. I jumped in, and in that event, I just went fruitarian. I just stopped all the cooked food and started guzzling distilled water and drinking my pee and doing
Hmm.
a minimum gallon a day between the distilled water and the pee. I was just guzzling and only eating fruit.
Awesome.
And my body changed so quickly. I was just flabbergasted. It blew my mind.
Right.
My hands were atrophied. They were so decrepit and disabled that I couldn't open jars. I mean, it was really something. I was so um, disenfranchised from my body at that point, and I was a healthy guy, from my perspective point of
Right.
view. I was doing all the
Doing
right
healthy things.
things. Yeah,
Hmm.
alkalining. I mean, I was doing all of it. I was buying organic turmeric, to deal with, arthritis. I mean, I was doing all of these efforts, but with
Hmm.
no result because I was still taking handfuls of meds several times a day because I couldn't function. I was playing golf, I was hiking, I was walking. I'd go play 18 holes of golf. I'd walk 14 miles. I mean, I'd do this every day because I was ambitious, and focused. And I liked
Hmm.
my exercise, I liked my health, but it wasn't pain free. It just wasn't. If I didn't take all
Right.
the meds, I'd pay for that shit. I'd be suffering. And
Hmm.
so, to have the thing turn around so quickly was like amazing. Within
Hmm.
10 days, I had movement in my hands that I hadn't had in, really literally a couple of months. And that blew my mind. I said, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. It's
Just
all good.
drinking pee?
Hmm.
Are you shitting me? This is too
Yeah.
easy.
Distilled
And
water
and
and
that
pee,
I'll
and it'll
never
clean
forget
you out.
that first morning.
Yeah.
Everybody's like facing that first threshold, where you just peed in a glass and you're staring at it and going, I don't know, can I do this? I'm gonna
Yeah.
drink my pee.
Yeah. My best friend, he goes, "How do you do it, man? How did you do it?" And I'm like, dude, it's just like you acquire the taste. Just start little, mix it with some other juice, mix it with orange juice. Uh, there's a lot of methods to just if you just can't take it, your own urine and just drink it, there's other ways to go about it. Put it in some juice. Put it in. Take little amounts. Work your way up. But it's kind of a maybe an acquired taste. But I would imagine that everyone's urine tastes unique to them. Depending
Yes.
on how your body is. Some people might just have that nice coconut water urine and flowery, fruity, yummy. Then other people might have some nasty stuff going on until they clean everything out. Until they clean
And
out their
I
gut,
experienced
clean
that.
out
I
their
experienced that throughout
everything.
the day. I mean, I can go from the dank gnarly to coconut water in an hour. I can. When I loop, it's like it can be like some crazy shit in the morning. It's like, oh, it's salty, it's bitter, it's this, that, and the other, and
Hmm.
I like, do I give a shit? No, I drink it. I do, and
Right.
then I have my coffee
It,
and this, that, and the other, and before you know it, I'm peeing again, and the glass is crystal clear almost. It's just this real light color. It tastes like coconut water. That's my body. What's your body?
mhm.
I don't know. You tell me your story. I'm telling you mine. I can't tell you what your story is going to be. Never. Nor do I want to.
Yeah, exactly. Mine's more, I don't know, mine has went through different phases depending on what I eat. Depending on how much cooked food I eat. It can be like real salty, bittery. Sometimes buttery, like buttery popcorn. Sometimes like water. It goes through
Yeah.
different cycles and different phases depending on what your body's doing and what you've been eating, what you've been putting in. But I think
Yeah.
we can all want to get to where you're at. Like coming from an alkaline background. I think whenever you get a lot of obstruction, say all that stuff that's in your gut, you get all that compacted fecal matter out. Uh, whatever. There's a lot of methods to get it all out, but urine therapy will help get it out definitely. And there's other methods to help, like the bentonite clay, activated charcoal, psyllium husks. Like doing the doing that psyllium pudding stuff that the master fast system, like Lugino, like what he came up with. The grape and the lemons, mixing your grape juice and your lemon juice together. It's a very heavy duty cleaner. I've uh
Yeah.
I've experienced that as well as, and it all does it's all beneficial. So the more you clean out, the more you get, you're going to be in a state where you can just recycle your urine indefinitely and have excellent results. And like
Yes.
I think Don, is it Don Simon? He is one of the ones that have been doing urine therapy for like 6 months, 9 months, maybe over a year now. Mostly urine therapy. Then he just eats minimal, some fruits, some whatever, and he's not having any problems, and you're not having any problems. So
Yeah.
whenever people get rid of the bad stuff that's in your diet, then you can just live off your urine. I think maybe that's a possibility in the future, but you just got to get yourself there. And like
Well, I
I
had
always
a,
say, there's many. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say I had an awesome conversation this morning with a dear
Hmm.
friend, and we discussed many elements, and one of the things that came to the forefront is we are testing our capability
Hmm.
as pea drinkers. This is the foremost important aspect of what we're doing is testing our capacity, our capability, our understanding, our consumption, and the outcome. And when you're drinking your pee and you have optimum experience, when you're experiencing great health, and others are poo-pooing it or whatever they're doing, it makes no difference. Because when all shit goes down, which it could, I'm not projecting, but in the potentiality that systems fail and you can't get your food, your herbs, your essential oils, your cannabis, your whatever. If you have
Can't get your fruit and your veggies.
No access, zero
Exactly.
access, even water, energy, Facebook, whatever. What are you going to do now, Holmes? Who are you going to call? You can't call anyone. Who are you going to call? Oh, wow, all sorts of angry faces are going by. The little emojis. Somebody's angry about something. I don't know what that issue is. More anger. But, the bottom line is that we either are going to be self-sustaining units or we're going to rely on someone else to carry our bags. And this is a test. To me, this is a test. I'm just testing myself. I'm testing my own waters. I am. And I found that within my own waters, I'm sustainable. I can go without food. I can go without water. I can go with everything with the exception of the air I breathe. That's it. I can live on my tea and breath. I know this. And I'm comfortable with it. I'm confident with it. And there is going to be some real desperation out there when shit falls to pieces. People are going to trip.
Well, if you don't believe you can, survive on, say, your own urine, or you can't just survive on your own breath, like go to the breatharian level, which is one step past, I would say, urine, living on your urine. If you believe you're going to die and starve, that's probably what's going to happen to you. But if you can get your body to a place where you can push through, like you're doing, like you have proven, and like the breatharians have proven, you can do it. You just have to get there, whether it's a mental, spiritual thing, and it's all doing all your breathing exercises, like pranayama and any kind of breathing exercises, like the Wim Hof method that helps oxygenate the blood, like heavily, not just breathing in and out a couple times, like you'd think, and doing some energy work. Like I do Falun Dafa and some Qigong. So Ray Moore, he's a breatharian, like a hybrid breatharian. He does Falun Dafa, sun gazing, and deep breathing exercises when he's doing all of his dry fasting. So that's what gets him through it. So whatever works for everyone. I like to put everything out there that I know that's beneficial so people can benefit to whatever extreme they want to, like however much they want to drink of the water, they can drink. Like however much urine they want to drink, they can drink. You don't have to drink it all, or you can go on it full time. It's just, it's up to the individual, how far they want to push themselves and what they want to experience. And if they want to prepare themselves, for, like you were saying, what if society falls? What if everything falls apart? Then either you're going to die or you're going to be the one on the other side saying, hey, let's rebuild after all this. So
yes. Well, I'm watching the feed, and it's hilarious actually. The video part is on like strange delay. And so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. And in the meantime, I got like woe faces, I got happy faces, I got loves, I got likes, and angry. Angry just keeps appearing.
Well, I have my fan club, so.
Whoever's angry is really obsessed with the anger. I don't know. It cracks me up though.
I just encourage people that have any issues, just to let go of your issues and move on with your life. Do what makes you happy. If not eating
Yeah,
salt makes you happy, don't eat salt. If eating salt makes you
yeah,
happy, eat your salt. Whatever.
yeah,
It doesn't really matter what anyone believes but you. And like you said, find your own truth and be your own
yes,
truth. And try to better yourself. We're all here mainly for health issues. And then some of us go beyond the health issues to spiritual issues. So, it's we're one big happy family. And I like how you brought the tribes together, like the high vibe tribe. There's a lot of different people with different views, but
yes.
we all do urine therapy. We all do some distilled waters. Some do, some don't. Some do it. Some do with warning, and some do it with, hey, drink all you can, because what worked for them, they're just reflecting what worked for them. And someone with a great vegetarian, vegan, fruitarian background, they're going to have a totally different result or experience than, say, a meat eater. That's like the reverse of a vegan, fruitarian, vegetarian. Someone that just eats mainly all meats and junk food and sugars, going to have a totally
Yeah.
different experience. So I
Well,
try to bridge the gap. Yeah.
one thing that I seem to get redundant about is that anybody who thinks they got it all figured out, they don't have nothing figured out. I mean,
Mhm.
nobody's got it all figured out. Nobody. I mean, if you got it figured out for yourself, good. But if you think you're gonna forecast, broadcast, or impose that on others as like the only way, that's no different than politics, religion, or philosophy, theology. I mean, it's like, hey, there's a lot of paths. It's not one
Right.
way or the highway, man. It just doesn't roll that
There's
way.
many,
Just doesn't.
yeah, there's many paths to the forest. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just choosing the one that works for me. And man, on my path, man, I hit a lot of bumps in the road, a lot of detours, a lot of
Mm,
bridge out, a lot of
me
curves
too.
ahead. And I'm still here. What can
Hmm.
I tell you? You know,
Yeah, we got to just keep
it's
on
going to
keeping
take
on.
a little more to shut me down. No, that's it. you
Hmm.
know,
Endure until the end. That's all I can say, and then
yeah,
go even more.
I'm going to be here until I'm not. So what? you know,
Exactly.
no one gets out alive. So, man, quit taking your shit so serious, man. I mean, we're going to give up this meat suit at some point, even with a breatharian approach. I mean, we could live to be a couple hundred years old. That's, we can do that. I mean, that's,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
really trust Hilton Hotemus in his perspective in man's higher consciousness. And the same with John Armstrong and his perspective. You don't need to tell a million testimonials when one will do. Because what works for one will work for others. It'll work for many. And
Hmm.
it's up to you to decide how it works for you. It's not up to
Right,
me to
right.
decide what's going to work for you. I have no fucking clue what's going to work for you. Not at all.
Exactly.
Angry
Exactly.
person just
Well,
as relentless. Whoever's the angry person, they're relentless, man. They're just like popping the anger.
yeah. Angry is the new happy.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to the world of imagination and action.
Right, right. At least they're feeling some kind of emotion, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's always a
yeah,
good sign.
Oh, could I please stop? Somebody says, could you please stop? Stop what? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're asking the angry person to stop. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because the hearts are flowing, man.
yeah.
There's a lot more hearts than
Showing some
thumbs
love.
up. Yeah, a lot of love being shown. This is hilarious, man. Hey, I don't know if I told you today, Andrew, how much I love you, but I love you, bro.
Thanks, man. I love you too.
I so love you, man.
We even
This
love
is
the angry
great.
face guys.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, it's relentless. I mean, it's just cracking me up.
Right.
There's a
Um,
war going on between Hearts and Angry Man, or whoever.
angry person. That's the Canadian
Angry person.
politically
Yeah, you
correctness
know,
now.
let's be
Angry
politically
person.
correct. This is awesome, man. So, what other subjects might we delve into that we haven't cut into yet? We talked about a lot of
um,
things. What do you
we can
got in
go
your
into
mind?
some aluminum. Aluminum.
Yeah,
That's what
let's
I've been
talk
reading
aluminum.
about a little bit. Um,
Okay.
we're in the age of aluminum. If you didn't know, uh, Dr. Chris Exley, he's a PhD. In 2011, he said we're in the age of aluminum with all the how aluminum is used and mined, and nowadays we know it's sprayed in the air in the form of good old
Yeah, along with
chemtrails.
barium and
Mhm. And
yeah,
then it's also
yeah,
in like say vaccines and a lot of healthcare products. Aluminum is
and
everywhere.
mercury. Yeah.
Yeah, but a way to mitigate that, the heavy metals, if you've if you've looked into heavy metal detoxing, I believe urine helps to an extent, and um, maybe it does more than what we know, but there's not too many studies. But the way to get rid of your aluminum to reduce aluminum toxicity, if that's a concern with you, is there's a water that is high in silica, and the two waters is Volvic brand water. You can find that at Whole Foods or like say Trader Joe's. And then there's like a Spritzer brand, which is they say that's harder to find. And they say if you drink a liter of those a day, it helps get aluminum out of your system. So the silica does the magic of binding to the aluminum and getting it out. So horsetail herbs and organic cucumbers are two of the higher things that are natural, whole food that is high in silica that can help remove aluminum from your system. And they say when your urine is cloudy, like a cloudy look, that's aluminum in your urine. And I don't know how true that is or not because I don't have any kind of testing equipment. I'm not a lab or anything, but to reduce your aluminum burden, the horsetail herb, the organic cucumbers, apples, raw cabbage, peanuts, carrots, onions, pumpkin, almonds, and oranges are all really good uh, aluminum metal detoxifiers, and they might just remove other heavy metals as well. So I was looking into that because I think that's important. Get the aluminum out so you're not recycling it. I'm not sure how the liver, if it recognizes aluminum and sends it out the colon, or if it just stays in the bloodstream. They say aluminum leads to like multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, other neurological problems, and because glyphosate Roundup, it takes aluminum and binds to it and transfers it to like the brain and other fatty tissues where it can just sit there dormant for a while. So I think it's good to get rid of aluminum.
Well,
So that
what do you
I was
think
looking at
about
that.
the
So
diatomeous earth as the silica, as a option?
hmm, I think that's a good option. A lot of the diatomaceous earth, or how do you say it? I've heard it pronounced many ways.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
good to it's good to
I
cut
don't
up
know.
the. It's a good parasite killer, in the gut. A lot of people
Yeah,
use
that's
it
why I
just
went
for
there. That's what
yeah.
I was doing it for, and the same with the turpentine. I was going
Hmm.
after parasite. I mean, that was my intent. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's I guess it does it have silica? Is that the main
Yeah,
ingredient?
yeah, it's a pure
Yeah.
silica, a human
So it
consumption silica. Yeah.
okay. I'm not sure if it breaks it down to the ionic form so the body can absorb it and get into the bloodstream, like say, cucumbers, apples, your fruits that have the silica. It might be a smaller size of a molecule to be utilized by the body. The diatomaceous earth might It might be a big chain compound that doesn't get broken up by the stomach acid as well. So it might just go right through your intestines. You know, it might play a bigger role in, you know, slicing and dicing the parasites and getting stuff out of the gut versus being absorbed
Yeah.
into the bloodstream. So,
Well, I found it to be beneficial for me, and I bought the food grade, which somebody commented it has to be food grade, and I did,
mhm.
and
Oh,
I
right on.
ordered it, and I got a bag, and I don't use it now. I haven't been using it, but I've got a lifetime supply for a tribe. I swear to God, because the smallest container you could buy was like 5 pounds or something. It's a gigantic bag, and you take these small amounts, and I was mixing it in my morning urine. I would just,
Oh, right on.
I'd mix this in, I put the turpentine in, I'd just do a cocktail, of all three things, and that's what I was doing. And it was good. And I had to when I hit the wall, it was really with the turpentine. That was after about
Hmm.
2 weeks. And that again was I bought that high end stuff, comes out of Georgia pine or wherever it
Yeah.
comes from. And
Yeah, that's the only organic turpentine I know of too.
yeah, yeah. And I still have that original bottle. Now, what was happening
Hmm.
for me is that it was permeating in my body like 24/7. I kept burping it up. I kept, it was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
this constant. And I was going, I took you like, 12 hours ago. When you going to stop already? It's like, okay, I want to taste something else in my experience. And so it was kind of like that. That's how I hit the wall with it.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just decided I had to back the fuck off because I was overdosing. And it's really what was happening. I was doing, full body rubs. I was doing all the full washing. I was doing the looping. I was doing the diatomeous earth. I was doing the turpentine. I was doing the aged urine enemas. I mean, I was going all full balls to the wall. And I hit the
Yeah,
wall.
that's full on.
I mean, I
Hmm.
just realized that I'm overdoing it. My body doesn't need this excess. It's, give it a break. And
Right.
I found a balance. I did. And I did a 14 day, just shy of 14 day. And that was my third fast of just urine. It was a solely urine fast just to test those waters, and I dropped to 144 pounds. Now, when I looked at myself in the mirror, it was a little bit distressing because I looked like, I was wearing a cheap suit from a secondhand store, and that was my skin. And
Hmm.
and I was going, dude, you look like shit. But I felt great. That was the miracle, as I really
Hmm.
felt awesome, even though I looked like
Awesome.
shit. You know, and I realized I was in a massive detox process. That I knew. That I wasn't becoming anorexic and I wasn't bulimic and I wasn't any of those other labels. I was detoxing to the bottom end where my muscle tissue, every bit of tissue was being detoxed and taking all of that leaching out. It was just all being removed. And since then, I have maintained like 165 pounds, no matter what I do. It doesn't matter what I eat, whether I eat or don't eat. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't
Hmm.
matter. My body
That's awesome.
finally found its plateau of perfection, and it just remains there. It just stays in that flow.
That's
And
awesome.
that's why I've gotten to the point of being more revealing and more honest. I don't have the answers. I don't. I mean, I
Hmm.
found what worked for me. I don't know what's going to work for you. I don't know what's going to work for everybody else. I have no fucking clue. Go ahead, do your herbs, do your this, that, and the other. Reflex. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't care. I think it's all great. If you find what works for you, you're on it. Go with that. Trust your instincts. Follow and listen to your body. Don't listen to me. I'm a cartoon. I accept that. I'm just having
Exactly.
fun. I'm enjoying the ride.
Hmm.
I
I
don't want to
find the
be
more I learn,
anybody's guru. you know?
Yeah, the more I learn, the less I know.
Yeah. I mean, and that's really true for me too. You know, I had to unlearn a lot of shit. I just had
Hmm.
to unlearn it and accept the process. And I do. I accept it every moment I breathe. I don't make anything up, you know, outside of what's apparent to me in this very moment I breathe. That's it. I just roll with that. That's all I know. What happens next? Let's see. What do you got? Bring it on. You know, I don't expect anything. I just allow everything. That's it.
Hmm.
And life does unfold and present itself if you trust and allow that it will. It does. It just does. It becomes effortless after a while. You don't have to think about the shit. It just appears. And you just deal
Hmm.
with it, whatever that is. That's an opportunity and a responsibility that's equal to everyone. It's not up to me, you know, for anybody else except for me.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
what's up to us is up to us.
Yeah.
And as long as people are getting healthy and staying healthy, that's a lot of big focus of my group, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. Let's see. What else you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about groups.
Sure.
You know, I think groups are important. And I do. And I'm honored to be a part of many groups.
Hmm.
And there seems to be love and support, and then on sometimes there seems to be discord and disagreement and argumentative and different elements at play. And I guess that's group dynamic. I don't know. It's still all kind of new to me,
Hmm.
really only being in a participant over the last year or whatever. So, you know, social media is still a new frontier for me. Honestly, it is. I haven't been hanging around social media for the last, I don't know how long it's been around. A lot of people have. I haven't. So, what's your experience of group? I mean, how has it benefited you? You know, what's your perspective about group?
Um, well, I like groups. I'm kind of a debater kind of persona. Like I put everything in little boxes, and then I like to debate them, put up, like analyze different things from different angles. Um, I think groups they bring people together, and they help you question everything that you're doing, and they offer you new ideas that maybe you wouldn't have thought of right then. So I think there's a good synergy with groups, and
Yeah,
every
I
group
agree.
has a different dynamic. Yeah, like some groups, I mean, sometimes they just go through a cycle of ups and downs, inactivity and more activity. Some groups just stay super active all the time, you know, you can't hardly keep up with them. Other
Yeah,
groups, you can just go in there and, it's more relaxed. And then maybe once, every now and then you get some good posts that good questions come up. And then of course, you just have detractors. Then you have those that really add a lot to the group, you know. So
yeah,
I think being a part of the groups I'm in, like your group, my group, even the Master Fast group, even any group you want to throw into the mix, you're going to learn something. If you just go in there and pay attention,
yes,
there's always something to learn and something new to go over in your mind. There's always something maybe 2 years ago you thought this was a absolute truth. Maybe you're questioning that now because you got more information because someone shared something that enlightened you to an extent. So
yes.
so groups are awesome. I mean, when people come together, it's always awesome.
Yeah, and I agree. And I come and go in my activity of participation just because of time limitation. Um, yeah, I involve myself a lot into the element of my own process, creativity, production, and all those elements. And I don't want to be a there's only so much time I can sit, sit and stare at a screen. And
Hmm.
so once I pull away from the process of what I'm producing in itself, it's like, well, how much more time do I have? So even yesterday, it was a rainy day. I decided I'd take a day. And that's all I did as I scrolled and I looked through and I looked at different people's, posts and this, that, and the other, and remarked and commented and this, that, and the other, which I like to do. And I don't do it all the time. I do it when I have the time,
Hmm.
and sometimes people take that the right way, the wrong way, or the other way. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
well, I've been accused of spamming the groups because it was
yeah,
like, well, you just keep posting stuff, but you don't participate. And I go, well, isn't posting participating? I mean, what? I mean, what do you want from me? What the fuck? You know,
right.
I'm just doing the best I can. That's all. I don't pretend to be anything. I'm just doing, whatever I'm doing. I don't know what, people either like it or don't like it. I don't fucking care. I'm just
Yeah,
doing
like
me.
who makes up the rules, right? They're just
Yeah.
putting you into their box of their set rules that they think everyone should follow. And when you don't follow that set of rules, then you might see some like little angry faces flying in the air. So
Yeah.
you know,
Well, and that was just
there's no
crazy, man.
rules.
That was
There's no
like
box. Yeah,
it was like watching a boxing match.
yeah.
I
Just
don't
someone
know what
having
the
fun,
hell
man.
that was. I have no
Yeah,
idea what that was. I mean, that was just hilarious to me.
yeah.
Yeah, the love and the likes go against the angry, It's
All right,
just
we
hilarious.
got representatives of yin and yang, light and
Yeah,
dark.
yeah, man. You can't recognize one without the other. That's just the way it rolls, in true Zen Buddhism, man. If you don't have dark, you'll never see the light. I mean,
Hmm.
and I just live in that paradigm. I accept it all. I do. I don't want to argue, debate, or fight about shit. I mean, I'm done with that. I can get a
Hmm.
little smarmy at times, but
Hmm.
that's just my sense of humor.
We
I
all
don't
can.
know. I'm not out to hurt anybody.
Right,
You know, never my intent to insult people. It's never my intent, you know.
right, right. Yeah, but I don't intend to insult people either. But people, when they see your actions from afar and they don't like want to do a personal chat with you, you know, to say, hey, what's really going on here? Like if someone wants to know details of something, all they got to do is send a private message,
Yeah,
chat. But a lot of people, they just want to have World War III on someone else's post in someone else's group whenever they see you, if they have a disagreement with you. And I have plenty of people have disagreements with me because I totally changed the focus of my group. And some people cannot live with inorganic minerals and salt being acceptable in in
right.
their box in their worldview. So for
Yeah,
some, distilled water is not distilled if you have any kind of salt going on. And
yeah,
I accept that. I understand where they're coming from, and they have the ability to make their own groups and to be in a group that is just like that. If they don't
right.
want to be in my group, they're either going to leave or I'm going to remove them if they want to be negative and try to, advertise their, hey, everyone come over here because this group sucks, that kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
I just don't play with that. I just like get rid of the people that are negative and ban the people that are negative, more than once or twice. If I don't want to deal with it, I don't have to explain myself to anyone, just like you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. But if
right. I
someone
make
wants
it
to know,
perfectly clear.
yeah,
I do. I
send
put it right up front.
yeah, yeah,
I do.
send a message. The
Yeah,
people that want to ridicule you, they're never going to send you a private message.
yeah,
They want to they just want to have a world war. They want to have their war, and they just want to have a discussion out, in someone else's post. So blocking
and I
people is
treat those
awesome,
people
you
with
know.
respect. I never disrespect
Hmm.
them. I address them directly and absolutely unconditionally. I'll address them, especially. I mean, I don't. I I'm not easily offended. Okay. But when
Right.
you go after other people in my tribe, and that means everybody. I mean, I love and respect everybody. So if you just
Exactly.
relentlessly go after and attack somebody, it's like, wait a minute, hello, you know, this is not acceptable. It's not appropriate. And if you continue, you're going to be excused. I'm giving you fair warning. Either lighten up, brighten up, or get the fuck out. It's going to be
Hmm.
one or the other. And you have the choice right now. Be clear. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
And I've had to remove a couple people from the group just because they didn't get it.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
They just
Exactly.
didn't
Or
get it.
they weren't
You know?
respecting the group leaders' rules
Yeah.
or your guidelines or however you feel in the day. I mean, each group is run differently, so it's up to the admin of the group to make the decisions who they want in their group or who they don't want in their group.
Yeah.
Don't take any offense because we're
Yeah.
all about sending out
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
and hey, if you got a problem, I love you, but get over it, or I'll just block you
Yeah.
out of my life.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, whatever works. So
Yeah, and the tools are there. It's effortless. I mean, it really is. I mean, to block somebody, to unfriend them, all that shit, whatever, but I don't just do
mhm.
it callously. Never. I show that
Right,
respect and
right.
give them an opportunity to wise up or get the fuck out. And they can walk out the door, I'll escort them. It's always an option, and I do it with respect, you know,
Yes, yeah, that's nice.
you know,
I kind
yeah,
of like how Monica views it. Like she told me, hey, I'm not being judgmental or anything. I still love you. I just, I'm glad you don't have a problem with me. I'm glad we're on good terms, that kind of thing.
yeah,
So I kind of respect that. It's a good viewpoint to have, and
yes.
shows a lot of
It's
love.
healthy.
It's a lot of people have a lot of love in their heart, and that's what it's all about. Getting
Yeah,
healthy, finding the methods that work for you, and enjoying your life, whatever this is, the journey.
yes.
And
And,
people can come from
we're,
all
we're in
religions.
this,
Yeah.
we're on our own path, but we're in it together. I mean, we are on the new
Hmm.
frontier and we're runners. And I accept that responsibility. I realize I put my head on the chopping block every day. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I realize it. I recognize it, and I'm okay with it. I'm a big boy, you know. I'm not going to take this
Excellent.
shit personal. I mean, what, I chose to be a public caricature, you know,
Hmm.
and I'm willing to own that shit. I do. So you want to
Excellent.
send me angry faces or, cast bullshit, know who you're fucking with, and just give you fair warning.
Right.
I do
Right.
have a sense of
Well,
humor.
it's just yeah, it just gives us a good laugh. I mean, it's all fun and games. It's all good. It's all in
Yeah,
good humor.
yeah, it is.
I'm not laughing
I
at
mean,
you. I'm
like,
laughing
there's
with
no
you.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to play in the sandbox, let's share our toys. Don't start kicking sand in somebody's face. That's just not fucking cool. You know,
Exactly.
if you want to take your
Or,
Tonka truck and go home, do it. You know,
mhm.
go build your own little sandbox. Otherwise, get along with the other children, okay? And we're all
Exactly.
children.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really see that, that most all adults are wounded children that just ended up growing up in adult bodies and they haven't figured out how to solve that problem yet. I
Hmm.
really do. I mean, I accept that in my own reality and I see it in others. It's pretty transparent most often. All you
Right.
have to do is behavior and you go, wow, who hurt you? Who slapped you in the face? Who told you you couldn't dance? What's the problem? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really believe.
A lot of emotional healing goes back to your childhood. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Most people got fucked up between 6 and 5 or earlier or later, but either way, they hadn't healed from it. You know,
Mhm.
I just really trust that. I know that's my experience, and I don't think I'm exclusive.
Oh no,
I'm going to put
no, that
this cat
applies to
out too
everyone.
because this one's driving me nuts now.
Okay, right on, right on.
I'll be right back.
Cool. I guess I could talk about salt and water. There's a good video that I like by Barbara O'Neill called The Importance of Salt and Water. Whether you get your salt organically or inorganically, that's up to you. I get mine from both, so it's all good. But I guess basically for the cell, you need magnesium for water to enter into the cell, and then it structures like the water is very structured. There's a PhD from Washington State who I guess he's done the most work with water and how it's structured, and it's pretty amazing like how water interacts. There's like an exclusive zone where the positively charged particles go against the negatively, and it forms like a little front. It's like a battery, and that happens, on the molecular level with water, and our cells structure it anyway. So anyway, it's like I kind of view like the salt in the water and the urine. It kind of works almost the same way, as in a lot of us are dehydrated because we're not getting our water inside the cells properly. So urine, it has magnesium in it to some extent, depending on how much magnesium is available in your body. But it helps the urine and everything get into the cells. And like another thing that your cells need, I guess, is potassium. You have the sodium potassium pump to regulate sodium on the outside and potassium on the inside to keep that balance going. And then calcium and the other minerals, they need vitamin D that you get from either a vitamin D supplement or preferably the sun. And that's what gets calcium and minerals in the cell. And then glucose, of course, needs insulin to get inside the cell. So your cells need all those. And as long as you supply that, you're going to have happy cells. So what happens in our bodies, I guess if we get too acidic or we get dehydrated, our mineral balance is off, our vitamin levels are off, then parts of our body start to get cancerous, start to get the illness in different parts of our body. So basically, you just need to supply the body with what it needs, and it's going to heal up. It's going to, you're not going to have a cancer, if you're giving your cells everything it needs to get rid of that. And there's different views on cancer. Like some think it's a fungus, whatever it is, it's no
Right.
good, and we need to get
The
rid of it.
lymph
Yeah.
glands, mucus. I mean, I've heard many references to, what creates procures. Um, I'm a big believer that stress is killing more people than they recognize. That
Oh yeah.
it's not what they're eating, it's what's eating them.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
that's
so
just
true.
a point of view. Yeah. But most people don't realize how much they're self-inducing their own disease and illness and misery. They just don't.
Hmm.
And when they are in that mindset, when they're in that mental distress, they want to comfort that distress with bad habits. So
Hmm.
they induce all sorts of other things to compress and compound and convolute already a distressed, situation. And they're not taking any ownership of it. And,
Hmm.
the striving for perfection, that's a noble pursuit, certainly. But compared to what? Normal compared to what? Try to make it
Yeah.
real compared to what? What are you noting it on? Is this your theory? Is this a hypothetical point of view, a mathematical equation, some kind of thing you figured out on calculus? Or your own experience, your own story, your own understanding, your own awakening. What is it compared? And if
Mhm.
people aren't willing to take the responsibility of making their own notation of their awakening and their own experience, and they're going to rely on others to teach them, guide them, lead them, and instruct them, control them, inform them, they're missing the whole show. From my point of view, that's my point of view. You're missing the good ride. It's all an inside job, man. I mean, you keep
Mhm.
looking
Exactly.
outside for the answer and you're looking in the wrong fucking direction. That's my point of view. And we're all in this together. We are connected. I mean, whether we like it or not, we are connected. I mean, we come from the same components. I am a big, firm believer in photosynthesis. That's why I believe you can be a
Mhm.
breatharian. If you get your air and your
Oh yeah.
sunshine, so you get those components. And again, Hilton Hotemus illustrates that really succinctly in Man's Higher Consciousness, and he doesn't even talk about
Oh yeah.
pee. You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
so you
Yeah, he
you
talks about
introduce
oranges, the
pee
king of
into that
fruits. Yeah.
equation. Yeah,
Hmm.
pea, air, and sunshine, perfect photosynthesis. We can grow like mighty oaks. We can be a perfect arabesque of nature and perfect design. And it's really about getting past our mind bullshit that limits us. And that's what it really boils down to. And we all have it. I have it. I don't make any excuses about it. But if push
Oh,
comes
exactly.
to shove, and alls I have is the air I breathe, the pee I drink, and the sunshine when I can find it through the chemtrails and the
Hmm.
haze, I think I'll do just fine.
Oh yeah.
That's my confidence. I believe that. I
And
don't know if
that's
that'll work for
where,
anyone else, but I know it'll work
yeah.
for me. I'll be walking down the road and I go out and I can walk, 10, 12, 14 miles effortlessly,
Mhm.
painlessly,
Yeah,
peacefully.
exactly. That's the goal for me too, to be rely, no, not have to rely on anything else, be totally self-sufficient in
Yes.
health and in body. And
Yeah.
then you're free to go to the next level, get those
Yeah.
vibrations high.
And in the meantime, hey, I've got power, I got gas, I've got food, I got this, that, and the other. I'm going to enjoy the shit. You know, I,
Hmm.
I, I, I'm just going to enjoy it because I have it. I can. It's an option. It's a choice. And
Yeah.
so I will.
And if
And the
things
day
keep on
it
going
may just,
smoothly, they go smoothly. Yeah.
yeah, I ain't tripping on it. I'll adjust. It's just what I'll do. I'll make my adjustments accordingly. And that's how I've conducted my entire life. Through every
Yeah.
rodeo, through every carnival, and through every circus, and all the midways, and all the enhancements and the encouragements, and like, come over here and spend a token. I've looked at so many things. And how many fucking darts can you throw at balloons before you get the game is rigged? Ha!
Yeah. It's all rigged.
I want to go see the bearded lady
So.
now.
Or go through the little hall of mirrors. Try to find your way
Yeah.
through the mirrors without bumping into them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's all cartoony to me. It just is. Yeah, I
Hmm.
really marvel at it all. I just enchant by it all. I embrace it all, and I'm just doing the best I know how to have fun and live every day alive, like I am actually alive, you know, and
Oh
enjoy
yeah.
the experience.
Yeah.
I beat myself up plenty. I got in my way a lot. And I have to look at it when I run into myself and I go, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You're getting in your own way again. Didn't you learn this one already? And I go, well, I thought I did, didn't I? And this is
Hmm.
life, man. We live in mirrors. It's the house of mirrors. And it's all an illusion. It's totally an illusion.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
people go, you know, I mean, I love this one Zen Buddhist statement. I just love it. You know, I am not who you think I am. You are who you think I am. And it's so
Yeah, there
true.
you go. It's all
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
It's all perspective. You know, so go ahead and cast your angry face. I mean, I don't know what you're angry at. You know, none of my business. I'm not angry. I'm not. I get frustrated.
Oh, exactly.
You know, I get a little testy. You know, I get a little pissed, you know, and I deal with it. But I strive to find the humor in it and realize what a cartoon I'm being. And I accept the responsibility for it. What a fucking
Oh
idiot
yeah.
you were being, man. Why you being an asshole? You know? Oh, I don't know. I guess I needed to be an asshole for a minute.
Yeah. Some people just need a vent, you know?
You know, I mean, it's just the human experiment, man. What can I say?
Hmm.
I'm in it just like everybody else. I don't put myself above or below anybody. I'm just walking my own path. That's all I'm doing, you
Yeah.
know?
That's all we can do is get out there and explore what's before us. You know, and be happy. Love life,
Yeah.
love each other.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. You know,
see
it's
what
all
works
about
for
the heart.
ourselves.
And,
Hmm.
you know, if we aren't willing and able to be in our own heart and share that heart with others, we'll never witness it or experience it. And the more we understand in ourselves is an inside job. You know, the more we accept our own self-love, the more we have our own acceptance and appreciate ourselves.
Hmm.
You can't
Yeah,
give
self acceptance.
unconditional love unless you are unconditional love with yourself. If you can't love yourself, forgive yourself, understand, respect, and honor yourself, how can you do that or expect it from anyone else?
Oh yeah, it all
It's
starts with
not
you.
fair.
It all starts with ourselves. Self
Yes.
acceptance is a key in a lot of things. A lot of therapies
Yes.
are about self acceptance.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, like
And it takes
energy
a lot of
tapping.
courage to
You
face
know?
our own
Yeah.
shit. It takes a lot of courage to recognize that, you know, we may have been incorrect, that our choices may not be of the highest good. They may not be
Oh yeah.
serving us,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
I mean, if you look where you were 10 years ago, how what's your perspective now on things? How much has it changed 10 years in the past? And what do you think 10 years in the future is going to hold for you? I mean,
I
those are
look at a
things to
year
look
ago.
at.
I look at 2 months ago. I look at a month ago. I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's just somebody I used to know.
Yeah,
I mean, I
exactly.
really accept that.
A couple months ago, I come to different realizations, and they don't apply across the board to everyone. And yeah, I'm not. I'm kind of on board with how you feel about things. You know, I'm not like the guru to come to. You're your own guru. You know,
Yeah.
we just learn from um, trying what works, trying what, seeing what doesn't work for our bodies, um, and for our spirits and minds and energy bodies. You know, there's a there's like a whole world out there, a whole another universe, so to speak, that we haven't even tapped into yet. And maybe we're getting ourselves ready for that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Maybe
this is something
the
that I've
next
really
level.
recognized with the therapy is the awakening of my pineal gland, particularly, but actually liquefying and turning all of that calcification of my body
Hmm.
back into liquid form to where I'm not in that crystallization and ossification and pain and all those things,
Hmm.
where I move fluidly and recognizing that we are a body of water. Now,
Hmm.
let's talk about dreams. Okay, now my dream sequences anymore, they're like 5D, high def, multicolor. They're so defined. I mean, I wake up and it was like I just walked out of a movie theater. They're
Oh,
that
nice.
vivid. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I recognize this is a part of the connector, that I'm connecting to universal mind, higher
Mhm.
source. And I'm trusting and allowing that to keep the exploration, to keep the awakening and the awareness moving forth. I have no perfection in mind, and it's all perfect at the same time.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
accept it.
you make a good point there. I think the cleaner the healthier your body is, especially the pineal gland, the more vivid your dreams are going to be, and the more you unlock your mind, um, you might have spiritual gifts that come into play. Like some people see visions and have visions. Whenever I have really vivid dreams, I would call them, they're more like a vision, like you feel that you're really there, like you're in there, you're learning something. Then you come back, then you wake up and you're like, wow, that was totally amazing. But I guess a couple methods for helping decalcify that pineal gland is iodine, like a nascent iodine is very good for that. And I think urine does a good job at doing that too, of helping decalcify, you
Well,
know.
and just to make a note of that. Now, I've talked to many people and looked at these different options: iodine,
Hmm.
peroxide,
Hmm.
and these are all on human, not the other, but different. Hydrogen peroxide is a healing. All these different options
Like drinking it
to
or,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was on the phone with a friend, yesterday, 2 days ago, and she's done a lot of research on it, and there
mhm.
is consumable grade of hydrogen
Right.
peroxide. She's
Yeah,
doing
get the
this
pharmaceutical
treatment.
grade. Hmm.
Right. And so I find it curious. I do. I
Yeah, that's
find it
interesting.
interesting, and whatever, if it's working, great. I mean,
Hmm.
but I keep coming back to the simplest bottom common line denominator is that, and I ask this question succinctly always to everyone. Okay, now you're doing this and it's working, but by my understanding and my experience and my application, isn't urine doing exactly the same thing? Is it or isn't it? Is it or isn't it? I mean, do I have
Hmm.
to induce or include these other modalities in order to make it work or not? And the answer always is that the urine actually does the work. And to me, it is an accelerant. It's a high octane accelerant with stem cell enzyme that kicks ass.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, all the rest of these are fine. I mean, I am whatever anybody wants to do, man. If it's working for you, I don't have that kind of budget. I have
Yeah,
no budget.
exactly.
I do what works for me, and P works for me. That's why I do
Hmm.
it. It works for me. I've never been happier or healthier ever, ever. And it
Awesome.
doesn't cost me anything. And
Oh,
I mean, I'm
exactly.
a pea factory, bro. I mean, I just put another gallon away in 24 hours. Okay. I can do this like 4 or 5 days a week. I can pump a gallon, even with my looping. I can still pump a gallon and I put
Hmm.
it into aging. And right now, I don't know, I've lost count, but it's like a 55. I don't know. I mean, I've got mass gallons
Nice.
in aging staging. And I love that. Like, oh, you're saving all that pee. What are you going to do? Oh, man, I got plans for that pee, man. I just want it to keep aging. That's why
Hmm.
I
Oh
just
yeah.
keep pumping the factory. That's why I keep putting it in there because I know it is gold. It's
Oh yeah.
gold.
Liquid gold.
It's liquid gold. And
Oh yeah.
I do everything I know how not to waste a drop.
Hmm.
Because I have that kind of confidence in its potential, in its healing power.
Oh
And
yeah.
I make no mistake about it. And I don't care what anybody else to say about it. I just don't.
I
And
mean,
I'm not alone. I know that.
there's too much information out there to deny the fact. of all
Yeah.
the wonderful benefits that urine therapy can provide. And
Yes.
it's all you got to do is try it out for yourself. If you come from an acidic meat eating angle, you might want to balance out your pH. You might want to go vegetarian, vegan, get more raw, get some juicing going on, get yourself alkaline. All that stuff just contributes to your health, and it contributes to excellent urine fasting. So,
Yeah.
do you do much urine fasting right now? Are you like
I
in a
have.
continual state?
Well, I do. I'm an intermediate faster. I basically I only eat, on a general average. I eat one meal a day, and I might be eating that meal will take me 15, 20 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
23 and a half hours a day, I'm fasting.
Oh, there you go. That's a
I mean,
long
it's
window
just
of
that's
intermittent fasting.
yeah. And the first phases of fasting, I went hardcore. I did. I went for the jugular on it. In the 14-day one, like I said, I was down to 144 pounds, and on a 6'1"
Nice.
frame, that's slight, and my skin was hanging like a cheap suit.
Hmm.
But when I came across the idea of exercise in intermediate fasting as a concept, I thought, well, that's interesting. Limit the amount of intake, because I do recognize and realize through research and understanding that the body uses 80% of its energy just processing whatever we put in our fucking mouth, man. And so
Hmm.
when you
Yeah.
recognize how much of our body is being overtaxed to just process whatever information's going through the tube, and it is a tube, it goes from your mouth to your throat, down to your esophagus,
Yeah.
to your
All the way
stomach,
down.
to your small, to your large intestine, to your bowel, out your ass, and it's just a tube. That's it. We're like a giant donut with a big hole in the middle.
Yeah.
And
Taurus.
they're redundant organs. They will shrink. They will, you become a breatharian, they just shrink. They become
Hmm.
redundant organs like tonsils. They're just, they're non-essential organs.
Right.
And people
The
want to
one.
fight about that and debate that shit, but give it an exercise, see how it works for you. And I mean, I remember this one guy, Wiley something, who was a
Mhm.
breatharian for like going on, I don't know, shit, 30 years, 40 years or something. I mean,
Oh,
this guy
Wiley
was
Brooks. Yeah.
Wiley Brooks, yeah, and he was a
Yes.
weightlifter, and I mean, I saw those clips, and I'm going, wow, look at this brother. He's
Hmm.
pumping like 900 pounds or some shit. It was
Oh,
crazy what
yeah.
he was doing. And he was this
Yes.
scrawny little guy, 135 pounds.
Yeah, he had the Samson thing going on, didn't he? Scrawny
Yeah,
guy, but had some power. Yeah.
yeah. And so, I look at these again, I go back to Hilton Hotemus and John Armstrong in point of reference that, one story can tell 1,000 stories. You don't need to hear the 1,000 stories. If it's good for one, it's potential impossible for another. And I
Hmm.
accept that reasoning. That is observational science. That's actualized science. That's not pseudoscience. That's not hypothetical. That's actual. And the human body is a miracle. I mean, we are a perfect design. And I don't know if you ever saw this film. This was a great classic. It was produced by National Geographic, and man, it goes back to like the 70s or something. It's called the Human Machine, or the Great Human Machine, or something to that effect. It's just
Hmm.
an amazing documentary, and it goes through all of the actual science of the of awareness on a physiological scale of what the body is basically by design, and what its capacities are, and the amount it can be stretched. I mean, look at certain athletes, look at extreme people, look at all these things, people that have been struck by lightning a dozen times, or you look at the variables and you go, wow, people that regrew their limbs. with urine therapy, cut off their fucking
Hmm.
fingers and their fingers grew back with urine therapy. Hello, growing back teeth. You know, I'm
Yeah.
experiencing a reversing of age in my hair, and I mean, I'm experiencing it directly. I
Hmm.
know, I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I mean,
amazing.
it'd be exciting to get to that. Was it Hilton Hotima? He was saying around the 100-year mark, you can get a third set of teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Well, he makes
amazing to
that
see.
reference to the oldest guy known on record. He was Chinese,
Right.
and
Oh
this
yeah.
guy, he grew four set of teeth. He had something like 32 wives and 235
Hmm.
children or some shit. I mean, this guy, man, this was a badass mofo. But he's on record. This isn't
Yeah.
he's not a legendary myth. He's actually recorded in history. And
Hmm.
the guy regrew four sets of teeth, went from gray to black. And I've seen
Right.
photographs of his later years, and I mean, by the time he finally died, which was something like 367 years old, something crazy.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
his
It was up
face
there.
looked like a doormat, but the brother was like, wow, did he live a life or what?
Yeah.
Now, I know
What
people that look like that
what
at
did he
50,
eat? Mhm. Exactly. There you go.
you know?
Um, what was his diet? Mainly like herbs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, he was practical. He
Hmm.
was, primarily breatharian, but not absolute. You know, he,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
he went through, he had certain things, and they showed different cultures. I mean, that's the whole thing with man's higher consciousness. He also illustrates other cultures that have, found amazing sustainability in life based on variable diets. The culture, their attitudes. I mean, there's so many factors. That's why I said, it's not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. I mean, this can be a killer. Our own stress kills more people than people recognize. I mean, that
Hmm.
shit is dangerous at volatile levels, big
Right.
time.
Um, I see Denise said, so are all these other detoxes just a boost? And I would say they're just helping clean out the body and get rid of all maybe the junk that's inside, all the toxins, all the stuff we put in there, before we became aware that we need to get healthy. Um, it could take a lot of cleaning to depend on the individual. Detoxing it can take years. It can take 6 months. It depends on your state and how much junk you got in there and what methods you want to employ to get your detoxes to get all the toxins out of your body. But I would say after you get those toxins out, anything's possible, especially
Yeah.
living on your own urine or going breatharian.
Well, and
Like in
that's
the
what I
Christian
discovered
perspective, we call
during.
that walking in the spirit.
Well,
Like,
and
like
that's what
yeah.
I truly discovered in my fasting experience. That I was cognizant enough to recognize the detox process. And
Hmm.
I think that's an important thing to realize that when you're doing fasting of any kind, whether it's juice or dry or, urine, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're fasting, your body is going to go through a process and there
Hmm.
will be detoxing involved. It's just what's so. Because you're giving your body an opportunity to realign itself, to redefine itself, to rediscover itself, and release what is not working within you. And the body has this by natural design. Whether you drink your pee or not, the body has this inclusive by perfect natural design. And when we exercise these ideas and get our mind right, and that's the big key. Most people don't get their mind right about how the healing process works, and so they get in their own way. They disrupt the process because of what they're thinking, not what they're doing, but what they're thinking. And that is a dangerous game to play. And if you think that you're starving to death, guess what? You are. You're
Hmm.
starving to death. If that's your thought process, guess what? That's what you're doing. But if you think you're fasting for greater health and food is not essential, guess what? That's exactly what you're doing. And you'll proceed without interruption. It's a mindset.
Oh
And the
yeah,
mind
yeah,
will fuck with you more than anything else. It'll just fuck
mhm.
with you all day long.
Yeah. It's like a like a scripture would say, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." So that belief is very powerful. You know,
Yes.
how else are you going to, like we see Moses and say Jesus in the Old Testament, in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, they go and they're fasting with no water. They're doing a dry fast, no water, no food for 40 days, and they did just fine.
Right.
That reminds me of breatharianism, of a modern day uh, comparison. Dry fasting for indefinite periods and long periods of time. Um, um, I remember that there's this one video whenever I was doing trying to get all the breatharian info going on YouTube. There's a video of this Indian yogi who agreed to do a study, and they had 24-hour surveillance on him, and he didn't eat or drink, and they I don't know, they probably didn't X-ray him. I don't know if they X-rayed him or they just did ultrasound, but his bladder, it would fill up with urine, and then it would go back down. His body would reabsorb it, and he didn't take anything out, but he was already perfectly balanced. You know what I mean? So he could sustain breatharianism, and his body functioned. And I guess he did all his yogi exercises, whether meditation, prayers, whatever, yoga postures, any kind of exercise he would do, and he was totally self-sustainable. And they would watch his bladder fill up with urine, and then it would reabsorb. And they took the counts, like one time it'd have like so many milliliters and more than less, and they wrote it all down. But that's a pretty interesting video to check out. Other than say Ray Moore, whenever he did his eight day no food no water, he did like an 8 day dry fast. Documented 24-hour surveillance, and
Yeah.
he proved it. So
Well,
it's very possible.
Dave Moore
Yeah,
did, his 30-day with a couple little
yeah,
cheats. He acknowledged that. Monica's done hers.
mhm.
There's so many people that have tested these waters. You know,
Oh
as
yeah.
a matter of fact, a guest that's coming up, Teresa. She is on day 17, I believe, of her fast. Now, she started with a 5 day dry fast and then she shifted to water fast. And she's been doing UT for 2 years now. And she's
Hmm.
on day 17, I believe, of her fast. And she's doing awesome. She looks
Oh, right on.
fabulous. She's feeling great. So, I always champion anybody who is willing to go ahead and test and prove for themselves the capacity that they have inclusive in their perfect design.
Hmm.
Don't rely on others. Figure it out for yourself. Trust your own experience. See how it works for you.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
again, I will always assert the absolute, the most important ingredient is get your fucking mind straight. Because if your mind's going to fuck with
Hmm.
you, all the rest of it will just fall apart. It's just innate. It'll just dissolve itself because
Oh yeah.
you'll just goon yourself. Period.
You got to remove all your blocks. Like a lot of people think, uh, they say you're like, was it Cole Haley? He did the thing on comparing urine therapy or drinking your urine to ancient blood cults. Like he said, basically drinking your urine is like drinking your blood.
Right.
So a lot of people have mental blocks and fear attached to what they're going to, what could potentially heal them up or give them a higher quality of life. They're going to have
Right.
instant blocks if they believe in superstition, or if they just take, say they read that article and then they're scared, they get this fear installed into them. I don't want to do it now because what if? But when you go to
Yeah.
the blood bank, you don't give them urine, you give them your blood.
Right. Yeah.
Urine is, you could say it's blood plasma ultrafiltrate, but it's not blood plasma, because when you go to a plasma center, they put an IV in your arm and they separate the blood from the plasma. It's two different things.
There's your dialysis.
Yeah.
But
so
you
two
know,
different substances.
The research is clear. I mean, this isn't hypothetical sciences, you know, and anybody who does their homework knows that the sciences behind urine therapy are really very clear. They're not wishy-washy. I mean, there's certainly detractors and misinformation, and, you know, just like the distilled water, anything, there's always going to be that agency at work to discredit whatever you're following, because that's just the nature of the game. So you have to do your own research and be thorough and decide for yourself what's going to work for you.
Exactly.
I can't tell you what's going to work for you. I can't. Now I know what's not going to work for me soon. My phone's already given me fair warning. The battery is about to die.
we have another. I thought we had another couple hours to go.
Just cut off, which I don't want to do. I like to wrap it up with a bit of sense of humor and not just have it go blank and where'd you go?
Poof.
But you know, I still love you,
the CIA
bro.
got us.
This has been awesome. What a delight, man. What an awesome delight.
It's great talking with you.
Yeah. Now, one guy here, Bob Wayner, wants to know opinion on pulling aged or fresh, and I think either way is good. You know, age is very potentially powerful. You know, age has just greater you know, so I'll just answer that. But I need to wrap it up. I know my battery is going to go quick. And so I want to remind everybody next week that I have Kirsten Lazur. She's a delight. You're going to love Kirsten. She was in one of my WEEDU Wander series out in Santa Monica. And then I have Monica Shute, and then Therese Allen, who's a dear heart. I love my guests. They're just so exciting and informative. And Andrew, this has just been a gift and a pleasure, and I love you dearly, bro. This is
I love you too, man.
Awesome.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you having on. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I want to wish everybody a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. Always keep your peace together, and you know, hug yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, man.
Thanks to everyone that's watching, and much love.
So, it's all
keep on doing what works for you.
Yeah. Could I please stop the goddamn? Sure, Ryan. God damn it! What am I talking about?
Those are just little things to wake you up, right?
Yeah. No, I love Ryan. Ryan's just hilarious, man. This
trigger that reptilian brain.
No, I think
keep them focused.
Actually, it's being covered, and he's saying, "Could you stop the goddamn angry?" You know, blah blah. I can't see it all because there's so many things going on my screen at the same time. And I'm just, my intent is to stay focused in the conversation. So, I mean, it's just a cartoon. I love it all.
All right.
So, yeah. Peace and love to everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's been a privilege to have you join us today. And I look forward to seeing y'all in the future. So, much love to you, bro.
Love you.
Peace out, everybody. Thanks again. Bye now.